Hi, I'm Tess,
Hi, I'm Sarah, and we are.
the Happy Edit Sisters. Happiness isn't just being happy, it's an embodied feeling that starts with how we approach life, our actions, and our mindset. Everyone has a range of emotions, and that's a good thing.
Join us as we dive into what it means to be happy and how we build a foundation for happiness through different lenses. Hi, Tess.
Hi, Sarah. So I'm so excited today to come on and talk to everyone and bring everyone to this bonus episode with Sarah because she's going to lead us through a great technique called the worry tree. So Sarah, please let us know what it is and how we can do it.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tess. So, the worry tree, I suppose in some ways it goes on from the stress bucket. So, when we've identified in our stress bucket those kind of things in our lives that might cause stress, might cause distress in our lives, we can then kind of use this worry tree as a bit of a strategy, a coping strategy to help us try and make sense of that worry. And in some ways, it kind of gives us a little bit of a method, maybe, or a little bit of a process of, okay, so what am I going to do about this worry? Is there anything that I can do about this worry? I like to, it's called the worry tree, but actually we can use it for things that don't necessarily just cause us worry. So it can be, it might be something that we're trying to, like a problem, or so to help us problem solve. So what I'd like to invite people to do is to maybe kind of grab yourself a pen or a pencil and a pad or a piece of paper so that we can write this down. So I'll just
Got
give
it.
you brilliant. Okay. So what I want you to do first, if it's okay, just write worry tree at the top of the page. Okay. And then I want you to write a really simple question underneath that. What am I worrying about? And quite often that's a question that we don't necessarily even ask ourselves. If you've listened to the episode before this, and we talked about the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system, actually we're in that sympathetic nervous system quite often, and we don't ask ourselves, what am I actually worrying about? Because we're so consumed by those feelings, by those thoughts. But actually, this strategy might help with the parasympathetic nervous system and activating that. So underneath that question, what am I worrying about? I want you to put a little arrow down and then write three words or three phrases. Is it rational? Is it my responsibility? Is it productive? And those are really important three questions. And again, we possibly don't ask ourselves those questions when we're worrying about something. Okay. So now we're going to do another arrow down. And again, we're going to ask a question. Is there anything I can do? And from that question, we're going to put an arrow to the right of the page and to the left of the page. And underneath one, we're going to put no. And underneath the other, we're going to put yes. So let's start off with the no column first. Okay. So we've kind of decided, We've looked at that worry. We've decided whether it's rational, productive, irrational, asked ourselves that question, is there anything that I can do? And we've come to that answer of no. So now we're going to put another arrow. We need to accept that's the decision that we've come to. So we need to write the word accept. We might then need to bring our focus of attention to something else. We might need to engage in a distraction technique. So if we write the word distract, and so something that I've added on to the end of the worry tree. So I first became aware of the worry tree when Frozen came out. And so following on to Michael's Olaf comment in the previous episode about giving yourself a warm hug, I like to say we need to let it go. So we're going to kind of go in the words of Elsa. And for me, that kind of brings back in that humour as well as we're kind of going through this process. So now we're going to shift over onto the yes column. And we need to put a little arrow down again. And we need to ask ourselves the question of when. So we've said, yes, I can do something, but when? So if everybody's following me now, we've probably got lots of arrows everywhere. So we're going to put an arrow from when into the middle of the page and one going straight down. In the middle of the page one, let's write later. And the one going straight down, we're going to write now. Okay, so let's go to the now one first. Put another arrow. And we need to plan what we're going to do. So although we're going to say now, we need to plan it. So and that might take seconds, might take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but we need to plan it. It's really important that we do that. So we might need to say, so if we write these things down as well, how, when, who, because we might need help from somebody. What is it we're going to do? Okay. So now we need to put another arrow down and we need to write, do it. Okay. So just going, so I missed one out of those words. So underneath those four, I think I mentioned, we need to write where as well, because I don't think I mentioned the word where. So just covering all bases. So we've got to do it. And then we need to write those same three things that we put under no. So we need to put a little arrow down and we need to put accept, because we need to accept what we've done, regardless of what the outcome was. Again, we might need to change our focus of attention. So we might need to distract. And we're going to bring Elsa back in and we're going to let it go. So people quite often say to me, but what if it didn't work the way I wanted it to work? Well, that doesn't mean we go back up to worry, because we've already kind of analysed that worry. It might be that we need to modify the plan because we might not have given ourselves enough time to do whatever it is we planned. Or we might have needed help. So we might need to kind of go, right, we need some help. Or it might be that we've come to the conclusion that actually there's nothing that I can do about this worry, because maybe it might not be my responsibility. It might be somebody else's. It might be your boss's responsibility, or a husband's responsibility, or a wife's responsibility. Yeah. So we need to make sure that we kind of go back to that plan and just kind of reevaluate that. So let's go over to later. So now we're going to put plan again, because if we're going in doing it later, we still need to plan. So it's those same 5 things. So where, what, when, how, and who. But this time we're not going to write do it. because we're going to do it later. But we're going to now put those 3 things underneath again. So we're going to do a little arrow and we're going to write accept, again, distract, and let it go. So Elsa's going to make 3 appearances. And I know this worry tree, it might kind of, just hearing it now, it might be like, oh, it's not that simple, Sarah. But I really want people to kind of trust in that process, because people tell me all the time that actually it really helps, because it gives them the opportunity to really look at that worry and try and make sense of that worry. And actually, one of the significant things people have told me is the my responsibility question at the top. We take on lots of people's worries all the time. And when we reflect on it, we go, that's not my responsibility to be worrying about that. So I'd really invite people to kind of give this a go. Let us know what you think. And if there's any other kind of little strategies that people want me or Tess to go through, let us know. We're more than happy to kind of go through them on the podcast and do a bonus episode for you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Sarah. That's so good. I love this practice, this worry tree. It's so wonderful. And I like how you bring in, the questions, right? It's very much kind of being your own, like Socrates, of asking yourself, like, okay, what am I worrying about? Is it rational? Okay, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's okay, just noticing it. Is it my responsibility? Yes. No. Okay, that's okay. Whichever these options is, fine, just noticing. Is it productive? I mean, it's just so good. I love that. And then going through, yes, no, maybe, later, and it's well, I guess you didn't say maybe. Yes, no, now, later, I guess is what it was. But it's just, yeah, it's wonderful. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Oh, you're more than welcome. It's a little bit like when those teenage magazines, isn't it, where you go down
It
stage.
is. Yes. It's your psychocosmo.
And just to, I suppose, just to add as well, and know that me and Tess talk about this all the time, but it's really important to come at this with compassion as well. So it doesn't matter what the answers are. Come with compassion to yourself as well as you're going through that process.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing this with us. And thank you, everyone, for being here and joining us. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sarah. And I hope everyone has a wonderful week trying out this worry tree.
Thank you, Tess. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
At the Happy Edit podcast, we're mindful that the podcast is not in replacement of therapy. If you do need further support, please do contact us on our contact details in the show notes. And we're more than happy to offer further support and guidance and direct you to places like the counselling directory or therapy directories. If you do also need further support, we would also recommend you contacting your primary healthcare provider. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll see you all soon.